All right, so hello everyone. Welcome to my rooftop in Chiang Mai, and welcome to day 3 of my live video challenge. And I've been sitting up on this rooftop for the past 10 minutes debating whether or not to push live because I want to share something that I feel very vulnerable about, something I am quite ashamed to talk about, or I have been ashamed for most of my life. And lately, over the past few months, and particularly the last few weeks, it's something I've been opening up a bit more about because it's a big part of my story and a big part of why I do what I do with teaching people about meditation and mindfulness. So I wanted to talk about it and share it with the world in the hopes that me sharing my story will help other people. So if you've seen the title of this post, it's about my story with porn addiction or my history with porn addiction. And that's what I want to talk about today, is porn, internet pornography. It's something that I think most people, maybe not most, but a lot of people have experienced or use on a regular basis, but not a lot of people talk about. Not a lot of people talk about what are the consequences of using internet pornography. And in my own life, I had been using it since I was very young, at least since I was 11 or 12. I think it started before that, with the Macy's catalog and, comic books and whatnot. But I remember, dial-up AOL and going online, and that's when the internet really started to make things more possible. And so it's something that I had been using regularly since about the beginning of middle school or high school. And I used it very regularly. And going into college, I remember it got to the point where I was using it so often that I was looking at porn probably every night for about 2 or 3 hours every night. And it was something I kept completely secret to the best of my ability. I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell my family. I was ashamed of using it. And so I kept it secret, and it was a big, scary thing in my life, something I was ashamed of. And what is crazy to me is how much of an influence it has on your mind. So when you think about watching one movie and how you might think about that movie for, the next few days or the next few weeks, and then imagine watching something as enticing, something as exciting as internet pornography, and imagine watching it for 2 or 3 hours every night for about 10 years. It's wild what it can do to the brain, what it can do to your mind. So what I want to talk about just briefly is what are some of the downsides of pornography when you're actually addicted. There might be some of you out there who watch porn and really enjoy it, and it's a very positive thing in your life. But I think for a lot of people, we watch porn and it's a negative influence. It has a lot of downsides that we're not necessarily aware of. So in my own life, what I realized is that some of the influences were things like increased dissatisfaction in my actual relationships. So when I was using porn, everything has to be picture perfect, models and plastic surgery, and you get these false expectations of what women should look like, what sex should look like. And it distorts your reality, it distorts your expectations, so that when you have a real relationship, everything feels flat, everything feels like it's not meeting your expectation. And I was noticing that in my life. And the ripple effects of that, not just in my relationships, but having this kind of perfectionism in my life where everything had to be perfect. I also couldn't focus. I was, constantly low energy. My mind was scattered. I was constantly craving watching porn or having sex. So I was completely addicted to arousal, addicted to sex. And it had a lot of just very negative consequences on my life. I mean, you can look at the research behind it, look at the whole host of research studies showing the negative benefit or the negative effects of looking at pornography. So I don't want to go on this too long, but I just want to say that for me, understanding the effect that it was having on my life and starting to learn about things like neuroplasticity and meditation and realizing that what you do with your life on a day-to-day basis affects your experience of reality. So if you're constantly looking at porn and getting sucked into that, it will affect your life. And on the contrary, if you spend your time cultivating more wholesome things like contentment and appreciation and patience and compassion, all these beautiful things, it can affect your life as well. So for me, porn, it was something that had a really negative impact on my life, and I'm still kind of dealing with the consequences of it, of being addicted to sex, addicted to arousal. But the benefit is that going through that process, it opened me up to learning about my mind and learning about how to have a more wholesome life, how to focus on what's beautiful in life. So that's just a little sneak peek of what I wanted to talk about today. And just want to show you this beautiful sunset, beautiful rooftop. There's a lot more I could talk about pornography and my struggles with addiction, and this is my first time really kind of talking about it publicly. So I know it wasn't very coherent what I was saying, and I can probably do a better job of talking about the downsides and how I got clean from pornography. And maybe I'll do that in some future videos. But just wanted to talk about that today. And yeah, this is day 3 of my 2-week live video challenge. So if you're following along with this challenge, let me know if there's something you want me to talk about: addiction, meditation, mindfulness, anything. Just let me know. Let me know what you're interested in. So that's it. Signing off from beautiful Chiang Mai. Goodbye, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.